Today we're going to be taking a very nostalgic trip back to World of War Zombies. First things first, how do I change the FOV on PC, isn't it? No, okay, you know what, I'm going to have to Google this one. When I'm on console, I could not care less about FOV, but when it comes to playing on PC, my face is so close to the monitor that I kind of have to turn it up, otherwise I risk getting motion sick. Anyways, y'all may be wondering why I picked Verrückt, and that's simply because for a time, this was actually my favorite map in Zombies. Granted, that time was back in like, before like Black Ops 1 was even a thing, and World of War was really our only option for zombies, but I've always just loved how intense this map is, right? Like back in the day, I played Nocturne Toten, absolutely loved that map, of course. In fact, unlocking Nocturne Toten is still just one of my most memorable moments in gaming, period. I'll never forget playing through the World of War campaign and being like, oh my gosh, that was amazing, and then all of a sudden the cutscene starts playing, and before you know it, you're launched straight into Nocturne Toten in that bunker. And then once the DLC was announced and I heard that we were getting a new zombies map, words could not describe my excitement. Like, my excitement could not be contained. I was literally counting down the days to that DLC releasing. And then finally it released, and yeah, like I said, it was literally my favorite map in Zombies for a while. Even once Shina Numa and Der Riese came out, don't get me wrong, I obviously love those maps. And if I'm gonna be honest, in retrospect, it's really hard for me to rank the Zombies maps or say which ones are my favorite just because there's so much nostalgia there and I love them all for different reasons. That being said, I do find myself playing Der Riese more simply because, there is a Pack-a-Punch on that map, there is a Wonder Weapon, and well, sure, yeah, Verrückt technically has a Wonder Weapon with the ray gun. I mean, y'all know what I mean, like an actual, infinite damage Wonder Weapon like the Wunderwaffe. But that being said, like, even at the time, Verrückt was just a map that I kept playing over and over again. There's just something about the atmosphere of this game, and it is also worth noting that I did grow up with, the PS1 Resident Evils and Silent Hill and stuff like that, for example, so I've always just been into real spooky stuff, tiptoeing your way through the echoey hallways of the Spencer Mansion or the RPD, the foggy hills of Silent Hill, and Verrückt really scratched that itch for me. Just, some real spooky spawned in the map. You're hearing all these screams, these noises. You hold F or X or square on the dentist chair, and you hear the screams of that, then you go to the oven, same thing there. Not to mention how tight this map is as far as design is concerned. It's one of those maps where, you're constantly having to turn corners, and as you're turning those corners, zombies are obviously always spawning in, so you never know what to expect. And for a while, this map was also home to literally, the fastest sprinters in any zombies map. Basically, you got two different types of zombie sprinters, right? You got, the normal types of sprinters, and then you got the insane ones. The ones that are, on transit when they're chasing the bus, or, on Verrückt. And the craziest thing is, those crazy sprinters can start appearing as soon as round 6. So as soon as round 6, you'll see these zombies that are going considerably faster than even sprinting zombies. Now, keep in mind, normal sprinters have been balanced in such a way to where your walking speed is the same as their sprinting speed, but for the super sprinters, that is obviously not the case. They're on par with, your sprinting. So not only is the map super tight and claustrophobic, but now you've also got some of the fastest sprinters in Call of Duty Zombies history chasing you around this tightly designed map. And again, since there's no wonder weapons on this map, it just adds to the horror, because you're essentially just at the mercy of the mystery box. If you get a ray gun, I mean, even then, sure, it is the most powerful gun in the map, but with the splash damage in World of War, good luck. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and spin the mystery box. Are you gonna give me anything cool today? Springfield, literally the worst weapon in Call of Duty Zombies history, objectively speaking. And before anybody tries to disagree, the Springfield, the iron sights aren't even, accurate. If you aim with the, oh, yep, there's one of the super sprinters I was talking about, as I was saying, literally on round 6. But anyway, yeah, if you try to aim with the Springfield, it's, oh gosh, dude, the super sprinters are going crazy already. You will literally miss your shot. You have to, aim a little bit to the left. It's sort of like the same thing with the SMR, except with the SMR, at least in that case, right, the iron sights aren't wrong per se. It's just that weapon is, I don't know, it's just terrible, and it misses its shots even if your aim, is on point. Now, before we get any farther, I'm gonna buy Jug. I ain't risking it on this map. I mean, y'all saw it already. It's round 6 and they're super spreaded. It's not worth the chance. Speaking of Jug, this is the one map where your Jug can, save you from anywhere from 4 to 5 hits upwards of 13. So there's this funny glitch, and it's happened to me, and I'm sure many of you many times before, where again, normal Jug, 4 or 5 hits, something like that, you're gonna go down. But on Verrückt, sometimes it glitches out and you're able to be hit upwards of 13 times. And it's completely random. There's nothing that influences it. It's just, hey, sometimes you'll be able to survive 13 hits, sometimes you'll survive the normal 4 or 5. It's a very quirky glitch, and to my knowledge, it has never been on any other map in Call of Duty Zombies history. That glitch has only existed on this map. But that's just part of the charm of World of War, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of funky and quirky little glitches on this game that just make it all the more charming and all the more fun to go back to, in my opinion. opinion. Personally speaking, I revisit World of War a lot. This is genuinely one of my favorite Call of Duty Zombies games, and it's not just a nostalgia thing or it's just like, oh yeah, I have a lot of fond memories with it. No, I mean, to this day, just going back to replay it, like, I just love going back to this game. There's something about this game, the aesthetic, the gameplay, the feel of it. It feels so gritty and real and crunchy. I know crunchy is probably a weird way to describe it, but like, I don't know how else to describe it, like, between the sound design and the, like, just something about, like, the way that you, like, get zombies in this game and just the way everything works together. Like, it just feels so, like, real. And as I was talking about earlier, like, you know, it's all about that horror, you know what I mean? It's all about the atmosphere. Like, World of War really, nails that atmosphere, no matter what map you're playing. Whether you're playing Noct, Verrückt, Numa, Doris, like, it has that atmosphere enshrined. Even though Verrückt, in my opinion, is the scariest or most, like, horrific map in World of War Zombies, I mean, you still get those vibes from the other maps, like Doris. Like, you can tell some messed up stuff happened there, and again, it just leads into the sound design and the way everything just kind of flows together with the game. When you're zapping the zombies with the Wunderwaffe and you can, like, hear their heads crunching, and when you pack up on your weapon, you see the gore just flying all over the place. Or when you load up Numa and the first thing you see is literally a hanging corpse. And then Nocturne Toten, the first map ever. I mean, like, come on, dude, being stranded in, like, an airfield bunker just out in the middle of nowhere with hordes upon hordes of zombies just funneling in round after round. Oh, look at that, we got the ray gun. Now I do gotta be careful because the splash damage on World of War is a little extreme, but you're alone in that bunker. There's no help or hope in sight. So while Verrückt is, in my opinion, the scariest map, I mean, World of War in general is just horrific in the best way possible, and that's part of why I absolutely adore this game, and to this day, 16 years later, I still go back and play it non-stop. In fact, you know what, let me pause the game. Let me show you guys something. Just to prove how long I've been with Call of Duty and, like, you know, what I was doing back in the day. I'm gonna show you guys something that I still have installed on my iPad to this day. Now, there is actually two versions of this game. So first off, we have Call of Duty World of War Zombies for iOS, and this is the HD version for iPad, which comes with Nocturne Toten and Verrückt. For some reason, they never updated it further, but thankfully, that's just the HD version, and thankfully, you're able to install iPhone/iPod apps on an iPad. So I still have the iPhone version installed, which has Nocturne Toten, Verrückt, Numa, and Doris. And you may be wondering, how does this prove anything? And, well, basically, this app was delisted a long time ago. It was available for purchase back, you know, in like 2009. And the only way that you were able to get this is if you actually purchased it at the time. I don't know when it was actually delisted, but I did purchase it back then on my iPod Touch, as well as the Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies app, which I believe, I don't know if that one's actually been delisted, but I do have that one too. Now, the unfortunate thing is, even if you bought that app back in the day, if you have a newer, like, iOS device, you're not able to play it, which is why I still have my iPad 3, as well as my iPod Touch 4th generation, and I actually just ordered an iPad Mini 1st generation just because, like, of all the sizes of devices, right? Like the iPod Touch, obviously I used it a ton back in the day. That was my main device. But nowadays, you know, I got bigger man fingers. So while the device is totally still usable and I still play on it and I still love doing so, of course, it's just now that my fingers are a bit bigger, you know, I want a device that fits my hands just a little bit better, I suppose. And again, that's not dissing the iPod Touch because it still does fit my hands relatively well. It's just for, like, you know, those long gaming sessions, I guess I'd like to have something a bit more substantial to hold, I guess. The only issue with that is the only other substantial device I have is the iPad 3. And that one is just simply too heavy to hold for longer gaming sessions, so it's just because that is a bit of a heftier device. So if you're really going to use that one realistically, you'd have to have it, like, supported on, like, a desk or a table of some kind as you kind of sit there and hold it and play it. If you're just trying to sit there and hold it up with your hands or your wrist, it kind of starts to weigh on you after a bit. So the only other two options would have been an older iPhone that is stuck on iOS 9, or an iPod Touch 5, which is also stuck on iOS 9, or an iPad Mini 1st gen. And for me, the iPad Mini, I've had an iPad Mini in the past. I had an iPad Mini 2 back in the day, and I also spent a lot of time playing on the iPad Mini 1st gen, and that was always just, like, kind of like the perfect fit for me, right? Like, you know, not too big, not too heavy, but it's also, you know, not too small for my man hands. I don't even have huge hands, by the way. It's just that, you know, obviously I'm older than I was back in the day, you know, like 16 years ago, obviously. But yeah, the iPad Mini's always just been kind of like the perfect fit for me, and the reason that I had to go with that one specifically is because Apple did this really stupid thing where they stopped letting you reinstall apps even if you purchase them, like specific apps after iOS 9, and unfortunately the older Call of Duty World of War Zombies apps that I just showed off were some of those. So the only way that you can still play them, even if you purchased them in the past, is if you have a device capable of running those, which is why I have an iPad 3 and an iPod Touch 4th gen, and also why I just ordered an iPad Mini 1, because originally I just got the iPad 3 because I got a great deal on it off of, like, eBay or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just use that to play my games, because I saw that it was still stuck on iOS 9, which is what I was looking for, but unfortunately it ended up being a bit too big. And then I repurchased an iPod Touch 4th gen at some point, because the one that I have isn't my original one. My original one from back in the day ended up biting the dust and the battery kind of went kaput, so then I ordered a new one for relatively cheap. It was like a 32 gig, but Again, I played on it, realized it's a bit smaller than I remember, and furthermore, unfortunately, I would have stuck with that device, but the one that I got, the viewing angles on it aren't too great, and unfortunately, the person that I bought it from didn't bother to mention that in the listing, but basically, like, if you hold it up vertically, it's usually fine, but when you hold it horizontally, like, you gotta hold it in certain positions to get a good view of the screen. It's just, you know, it's been damaged over the years. It is an older device, of course, but it's just kind of sad that the seller didn't actually mention that before selling it to me, so it's not that it's unusable, it's just that it's not very comfortable to use it if you're trying to get the best angle, and if you try to hold it straight up like you would be when you're playing it, it's just, I don't know, it just kind of looks a little weird, messes with my eyes just because the viewing angles are kind of that destroyed on that device. But anyways, yeah, my iPad mini 1 is on the way, and I'm super excited to reinstall the games on there because that'll finally be like the perfect fit device for me. I still gotta order like a case for it or something like that just because I like having cases for my devices, just so, you know, I'm not clumsy by any means, rarely do I drop my stuff, but I still just, you know, rather be safe than sorry. But yeah, it's super rad, super excited for that, and obviously there's a ton of other apps that have just kind of been left behind that aren't able to be downloaded on newer devices that I'll be able to re-download there, so I'm super excited just to have a nostalgic experience all around. But anyway, back to talking about World of War Zombies. Yeah, I don't know, man. I love this game. You know, I was spinning the box thinking about getting other weapons, but between the sawed-off shotgun and the ray gun, I mean, they're still doing just fine. I guess we'll run around to the other side of the map and grab double tap. I'm trying not to open up too many of the doors on the other side because I want to try to, like, have it be one of those things where I at least leave a couple of the doors closed off to, you know, just save it for emergencies. There we go, we got double tap, so now I'll be able to shoot just a little bit faster, which is nice. Again, I do gotta be careful with the ray gun. No, 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 no! Okay, be careful, because I'm pretty sure the ray gun, even with Juggernog, is a one-hit kill with, like, the splash damage to me. Furthermore, the ray gun is almost out of ammo, but there's a nuke right here, so we'll grab it, and we should be safe, we should be safe, we should be safe, please. Okay, we're fine, we're alive. Now, I know this is the usual camping spot, but since I'm using the ray gun, I feel like things might get a little finicky here, so I kind of want to go back to the power room and just kind of do what I was doing before. I do want to leave this door closed because this seemed to be, like, you know, helping keep the spawns to a manageable rate, you know, keeping this closed and then just kind of hoarding up over there. So I'll try to make my way over there. I don't think I should do it right now, though, because we're in the middle of the round. So I'll try to wait until this round is over. Our ray gun is getting really low, so if one of these oh my gosh, no, they're dropping double points and all that, which is cool, but, like, I really need max ammo. I'm trying to use the sawed-off shotgun for a bit, because this is still, oh no, I don't think it's actually a one-hit anymore. Is it? Oh, okay, yeah, if I hit him in the head or upper chest, it should be fine. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, you know what? We gotta run for it. We gotta run for it. We gotta go. Okay, we're okay. Pull out the ray gun. We're alive. Everything is fine. The ray gun literally only has one ray, bullet, whatever you want to call it, in it left, so I'm gonna save that. All right, there we go. Round 14 is done. I am racing to the other side of the map. I'll grab Quick Revive too, just so then we have the holy quad, the holy, I don't even know. I was gonna say the holy trinity, but obviously that's 4 perks. I don't know, just the OG 4. It's just me and the sawed-off shotgun. We're around 15, but this thing is, yeah, dude, this thing is still just laying waste to these guys. Oh yes, there we go. Finally a max ammo. Now we can use the ray gun again. Let's go. You'll never stop me. All right, there we go. We got a nuke. We're blazing through it. Let's go. Dude, these super sprinters are out of control. Literally, like, every other zombie at this point, there's more super sprinters than there is normal sprinters. I'll go ahead and grab some bouncing biddies. We'll probably just go ahead and slap these, I don't know, just, what should I do? Make, like, a little safety corner where if we get stuck, then I can just kind of, like, run over here and blow them all up. Actually, I put that in a bad spot. I probably should have put it, like, right back here, because the zombies will probably end up running into that anyway, but whoopsie daisy. I just realized I'm also in the wrong room. I wanted to be training over on the other side of the dome. The bouncing back. Yeah. I was hoping the jug glitch would happen, and I'd get, like, you know, my 13 hits right there, but 'tis what it is. Oh, well, we had a good run. I made a clumsy mistake. That was my fault. But anyways, now I'd love to hear from you guys. Do you guys love World of War Zombies as much as I do? But anyway, as always, massive shout out, thank you to all the patrons and channel members. Thank you to all in the low baller tier, and a big shout out, thank you to all in the mid baller tier. I'm the last team, admin, and the shout out, thanks to all in G tier, run events, some cheese girl. Thank you guys so much. You guys are literal legends. I love you. Thank you guys for watching. An amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.